You don't need to heal everything before you're ready to be loved. There is a sentence I hear all the time. I still have work to do before I'm ready for a relationship. And every time I hear it, I wonder, how much of our lives are we postponing because we are waiting to become a version of ourselves that doesn't exist? The perfectly healed version, the confident version, the version that never gets jealous, never gets anxious, never overthinks, never cries, never needs reassurance. And somewhere along the way we have turned healing into another impossible standard, another performance, another way to convince ourselves that we're not enough. But what if the goal was never perfection? What if the goal was simply presence? We are all a little messy. I travel a lot. And one thing I've noticed is that every culture hides its imperfections differently. Some hide them with success, some with politeness, some with spirituality, some with independence. But underneath all of that, everyone is carrying something. A heartbreak, a fear, a story they don't tell you, a younger version of themselves that's still hoping to be chosen. No one arrives in love completely healed. We arrive human. The self-help trap. I love personal growth. I've spent years reading books, meditating, traveling, sitting in ceremonies, learning about attachment styles, nervous system regulation and communication. And it has changed my life. But there is a shadow. Sometimes healing becomes another identity, becomes another obsessed with fixing ourselves. Every emotion becomes a problem. Every trigger becomes another course, another podcast, another retreat, another journal entry, instead of simply asking, what if I am already worthy? What if growth doesn't require constant self-criticism? Love is not a certificate. Imagine applying for love like a job interview. Have you completely healed your childhood? No, rejected. Do you always communicate perfectly? No, rejected. Have you never been insecure? Rejected. It sounds ridiculous. Yes, that's exactly how many of us approach relationships. We believe we are only lovable once we've earned it. But love isn't a diploma you receive after years of emotional homework. It is something we practice. The most attractive people I have met, incredibly beautiful people, intelligent people, and sometimes they felt impossible to connect with. Then I've met someone sitting barefoot on a beach, laughing at themselves, talking openly about their fears. And they become magnetic because authenticity creates safety. Perfection creates distance. People don't fall in love with flawless humans. They fall in love with real ones. What vulnerability really looks like. Vulnerability isn't telling your entire life story on the first date. It's much smaller. It's saying, I'm nervous. I don't know. I need some reassurance. I made a mistake. I was wrong. It's allowing someone to see you without editing every sentence. And that takes courage. Because many of us learned that vulnerability was dangerous. That emotions were inconvenient. That needs make us difficult. So we became experts at pretending. When someone loves the real you, there is a moment that changes everything. You show a part of yourself you've always hidden. Your insecurity, your sadness, your fear. And instead of leaving, someone stays. Not because you're perfect, but because you're honest. And suddenly you realize, maybe I've been working so hard to become lovable that I forget. I already was. Slow intimacy. I think intimacy grows in ordinary moments. Making tea together. Walking without speaking. Cooking dinner. Reading in the same room. Folding laundry. Watching the rain. Social media teaches us that love is grand gestures, but life is mostly ordinary Tuesdays. The question isn't whether someone can make your heart race, it's whether they make ordinary life feel peaceful. The relationship with yourself. There is one relationship that quietly shapes every other relationship. The one you have with yourself. How do you speak to yourself when you fail? How do you treat yourself when you're lonely? Do you rush to distract yourself, or do you stay? Can you sit with your own company? Can you enjoy your own thoughts? Can you forgive yourself for being human? Because the way you love yourself becomes the blueprint of what you will accept from others. A different definition of healing. Maybe healing isn't becoming someone who never gets tired. Maybe healing is recognizing the trigger. Taking a big breath. Communicating honestly. And staying connected instead of running away. Maybe healing is apologizing faster, trusting deeper, choosing softer. Maybe healing isn't the absence of wounds. It's learning that your wounds no longer get to drive the car. I hope one day we stop introducing ourselves through our flaws. I hope we stop saying I'm too much, I'm too sensitive, I'm still healing. And instead we say, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm human. Because the people who truly belong in your life were never waiting for the perfect version of you. They're waiting for the honest one. So wherever you are today, messy, confused, hopeful, heartbroken, in love, healing, know this. You don't have to become someone else to deserve connection. You only have to stop hiding. If you've stayed until the end, thank you for slowing down with me. Leave a comment below. Subscribe. What is one imperfect part of yourself you're learning to embrace? And if these conversations feel like a little pause in a busy world, subscribe and join me next week for another slow conversation. Also check out my books, our Slow Secret membership, and our gatherings around the world to give me a Kohala hug. Namaste.